Gets a block from Richardson in the backfield. 15, 10, 5, juking right, touchdown!
Alrighty, perfect. So we're going to keep trucking through these mock drafts. This next mock draft we're going to do is for the Miami Dolphins. So the Miami Dolphins are going to be an intriguing pick, or intriguing team in the draft, because they have 14 picks. They have the most picks in this draft. There's a lot of them in rounds 1 through 3. I believe we'll have 6 picks in rounds 1 through 3. And so we're going to go ahead and get started then with the Dolphins. And just a reminder, it is only rounds 1 through 3 that we're doing in this mock draft. And there are no trades in this mock draft available. So it'll just be the picks as is. So it'll be starting at pick 5. And there won't be any trades. And so in the real draft, they are speculating they might trade up. They do have 3 picks in the first round. So that's a ton of picks, a ton of weapons they can add in their rebuild with the Dolphins. They might package some of those picks to move up to maybe the 3rd or 4th spot. I know the Lions and the Giants are both kind of shopping their picks. And so they might try to jump up there to get the quarterback that they want. And there's a lot of speculation that they actually like Justin Herbert a lot more than Tua. We heard all last season, tank for Tua. And now it looks like they may not go the route of Tua because of his injury concerns. I believe that's all smoke. I don't really believe any of it. I do think that they're going to go for Tua. And as a football fan, I really want to see Tua go there for the Dolphins. And so we'll see what happens in this mock draft and see if he's available for us at 5 because there are no trades, so he should be there for us at 5. So let's go ahead and get started. And perfect. Yep. So we were able to go ahead and so no quarterbacks to go on except for Joe Burrows. And so we're able at pick 5 to go ahead and draft Tua if we want him. And so I definitely think Tua would be a great fit for the Dolphins because once he goes in there and gets drafted, he's not going to have to be a day 1 starter. He's going to be able to sit behind Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a seasoned veteran. He's going to be able to learn from him. He's going to be able to teach him the NFL process, the quarterback process. He's going to be able to get more familiar with the system, and he's not going to have to see the field. He's going to be able to sit for a year, fully heal his body, not take any football hits for a whole entire year. Just get fully healed to be able to be a fantastic starter in his second season. I envision it kind of like a Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith type situation. I'm not saying Tua is going to be as fantastic as Patrick Mahomes right off the bat, but I do think he will be able to have that same level of success where sitting for his rookie season will benefit him immensely in his NFL career. So with that, to me, this is a no-brainer. Tua over Justin Herbert. We're definitely going to take Tua right here with our first pick. And so we have 2 more picks here in the first round, so we're up again at pick 18. And so now it kind of comes to a concern with our team needs. We did address quarterback. We have offensive tackle, interior offensive line, safety edge. And so we need help everywhere, basically. We're in a rebuild. And I think it's super important, especially that we protect Tua for the long haul. He's going to have, if we want him to be our franchise quarterback, we're going to need to protect him and not only give him offensive weapons, but give him an offensive line. And so I think we need to go offensive tackle here as well. It's with our second pick in the first round, so we're able to address our quarterback and then a top offensive tackle. So here we do have Josh Jones available to us. He is the best one out of the University of Houston. Go Cougs. So we'll go ahead and draft Josh Jones right here with our second pick in the first round at pick 18. That's just going to beef up the offensive line. We need to protect Tua. He does have problems with injuries. That is a part of football, unfortunately, and so if we want him to have a long and healthy career, we need to surround him with the best offensive line as possible. And so Josh Jones will help us do that. So now we're up here with pick number 26. So it's our third pick in the first round. And so I usually don't, I'm not a big proponent of drafting running backs early in the first round because I think running backs, there's usually a lot of depth that you can pick them up in later rounds, round 2 and 3. But that being said, we already have 2 first round picks in the first round. And so we have addressed major concerns on offense, and I think we need to continue to go that route. The Miami Dolphins don't really have a running back. They lack very, very much in that position. They were last in the league in rushing last year, and they're going to need help to help that, not make Tua throw the ball over and over and over again to have a good rushing attack. So let's go ahead and take a look at the running backs right here, and it's perfect. DeAndre Swift is my running back 1 in this draft, and he's available for the Dolphins at pick 26. I think we definitely go DeAndre Swift here. He's a 3-down back. He's going to be able to provide the power run, the zone run, the In the passing game, DeAndre Swift is just an all-around fantastic running back in the draft, and so we're going to take him here at pick 26. And so those are our 3 picks in the first round. Now in the real draft, they may not have all 3 of those picks, as they may package them to trade up. But in this mock draft, we do have those 3 picks, and so we're going to use them to strengthen our offense a lot. And so now right here, we're at our 4th pick, which is just the first pick in the second round. So we've already got 3 concerns with QB, offensive tackle, and running back. So now I'm going to look at the interior offensive line, a safety, and an edge rusher. This is also a deep wide receiver class. They don't necessarily have a lot of weapons on wide receivers, so I'm going to look at some wide receivers here as well. We have Michael Pittman Jr., Laviska Shenault Jr., T. Higgins, would be fantastic players. So they're pretty deep in the wide receiver position. So we're going to let it go another round, but I do want to get a wide receiver within these first 3 rounds. So let's go ahead and take a look then at the safety position. They did get rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick, and so they are in need help of the back. Safety is Antoine Winfield Jr. or Jeremy Chin. I love both of those. I'm really, really high on Jeremy Chin. Let's go ahead and look at safety here, and let's look at Antoine Winfield Jr. to see. So it says Winfield Jr. brings an established NFL pedigree to the 2020 NFL Draft. His father exploits clearly left an impression on Winfield Jr. He's an instinctive player who illustrates a clear feel for the game on the back end. As a deep safety, Winfield Jr. is best in half-field coverages, but he brings man-to-man coverage skills against tight ends and is a viable field defender in the box to step down against the run. He's not an elite athlete, but his instincts and discipline will net him splash plays. Sounds like an overall pretty good athlete. Let's look at Jeremy Chin here. Jeremy Chin has next-level athleticism for the back end of a defense, and his value in the early downs will be in a traditional strong safety role. Chin's impact and coverage is most effective when he's given shallow areas to roam and break on the ball, and he's a potent tackler. He should be a potential third down sub-package linebacker who can roam in space. Chin will need some fine-tuning from a football IQ perspective as a small school prospect, but he's got a high ceiling with time to develop. So he's got a high ceiling with time to develop. That's kind of what the Dolphins are doing. They're in a rebuild mode, but it looks like Antoine Winfield Jr. is actually more caliber to start off at the beginning and provide a boost to that defense. And so we're going to go safety here with Antoine Winfield Jr. And now we'll go ahead and go on, and we're going to hit pick again at pick 56. We have another pick here in round 2 to continue to address. So we need interior offensive line and edge. Let's go ahead and look at interior offensive line. We have Lloyd Cushenberry III. Would be a fantastic addition here on the interior offensive line to help boost up the offensive line. We added Josh Jones at tackle. We can get Lloyd Cushenberry in there as well. Let's go ahead and look here. Lloyd Cushenberry projects as an NFL starter. He possesses tremendous body control, hip mobility, short area quickness, and pairs it with a high level of football intelligence. There are currently lapses in his hand placement and footwork at his first contact, but once he's ironed out, there he figures to be an effective starter in just about any offensive system in the league. He meets functional strength thresholds and effectively counters upfield attacks from A-gap defenders. So I think this would be a perfect pick if he does fall this far. I think he's going to go a lot higher than this, but if he does fall this far, which he has in this draft, we're going to go ahead and take him right here to boost up that offensive line. And so now we're going to look with some of the remaining picks, maybe the wide receiver position. It is a deep wide receiver class. Give Tua a nice target going forward. They do have Devontae Parker, who's a stud, Albert Wilson, some other players. But let's go ahead and look at that wide receiver position and the edge position. So first we'll go wide receiver to see what wide receivers are available to us in round 3. T. Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Chase Claypool. So we have our pick at some fantastic wide receivers right here. Let's take a look at edge as well. The edge, Jonathan Greenard, Darrell Taylor. So nothing too standoutish here, but we do need to boost up the defense. I don't want to get too greedy on offense and go after T. Higgins like that. So with another pick, we still might be able to. Actually, I think this is our last pick in round 3, so it's either going to be the wide receiver or the edge rush, and I don't want to get too greedy there. The wide receiver position is pretty deep in this draft, and so I think we'll go ahead and grab our edge right here. So now it's just between Jonathan Greenard or Darrell Taylor. We have Greenard projects as a starting base defensive end at the NFL level with a powerful punch and great length. Greenard has a knack for setting the edge. Greenard pairs that stout presence with an effective inside set of counter moves as a pass rusher. He doesn't illustrate ideal bend of the edge, but Greenard has the ability to collapse edges enough to soften his rush lane and be a persistent presence in the pass game from the outside. Still a bit raw due to lack of starts on account of injury. So he does kind of have a little bit of injury, but you pair him with Brian Flores there as the head coach. He's able to work with them. I like Jonathan Greenard here as the pick to boost up that defense as well to get the edge rusher, because it is a deep wide receiver class. They'll be able to pick up another high caliber wide receiver later in the draft as well, I'm sure of it. So we'll go ahead and draft Jonathan Greenard right here. And that should finish out our picks for this mock draft, rounds 1 through 3. So we do have, the Dolphins do have those 6 picks in rounds 1 through 3 as of right now. Obviously that's before trade, so there's no telling what they could do. They could really stack up their entire team, both sides of the ball, with those 6 picks that early in the draft. So let's go ahead and look at our picks. So the team needs, like we said here, quarterback, offensive tackle, interior line, safety, and edge. We were able to address all those concerns with this mock draft. We got our quarterback of the future in Tua Tagovailoa. He's going to be fantastic, sit behind Ryan Fitzpatrick for a year and then come back with a full season under his belt, healthy, and just attack the lead and be the Tua that we saw in college in Bama. We got Josh Jones as offensive tackle to help protect him on that line, and the best running back in the draft in DeAndre Swift to go ahead and take the load off of Tua to be able to run the ball, open up play action, and do lots of different things for the offense. And we went ahead and addressed safety position with Antoine Winfield Jr., as well as more interior offensive line with Floyd Cushenberry III, and then the edge rusher and Jonathan Greenard. So we're able to add a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense to get a pretty balanced first 3 rounds of this draft. I want to see them draft some receivers later on, and I'm sure they'll do that between the rounds 4 and 7 to add some more receivers and weapons for Tua, as well as beef up the defense a little bit more. But there you have it. That is our rounds 1 through 3 mock draft of the Miami Dolphins.